Hello everybody, my name is Xaphan, and welcome back to some more Everlasting Summer, and shit is getting heated, yo, between Alisa and Lena. They're arguing about something. I want to know, which is why I picked to go towards them. So, without further ado... No, you listen to me.
Think whatever you want. I've said everything.
You look serious. Tried as hard as I could to not attract any attention and look like I'm just standing there with no intention of just listening in on them. There's nothing to talk about. Nothing to think about. Everything is so clear as day. Don't try to win me around your little finger like that. I know you too well.
Well, of course you know everything. Then why won't you tell him yourself?
Oh! 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 Shit's getting heated! I think they like me! Oh shit, boys and girls! Lena was getting angry. That alone was really weird, even considering that I didn't know what they were arguing about. That's none of your business! Alisa snorted, turned around, and her eyes met mine. A second later, Lena gave me a look as well. The girl stood there in confusion for some time. Oh, fuck, I'm dead. Oh, shit. You're eavesdropping? Me? Oh, no. I was just, passing by. I put on the best smile I had, but it didn't seem to help much. By the way, today, he was peeping on me. Alisa gave a malicious smile. Lena looked at me questioningly. First of all, why would she believe that devious fox's story? I didn't peep. You know quite well that it was an accident. Yana should be the one to blame. Sure it was. Tell that to the cops. It seems like my excuse was not working. Did you like my boobs? Oh! Woo! Fuck, we're getting somewhere, yo! A shiver ran up my spine.
Is that true?
Oh, she looked crazy! Lena looked at me imploringly. Well, you see, it was an accident. I didn't see anything there. You didn't? Well, I can show you again. Oh, no! No! Oh, shit, no! Alisa cried in anger. I didn't know what to say. You see, I told you.
No.
Lena stuttered and mumbled and rushed away a moment later. What the fuck, man? Wait, what happened? I shouted after her.
You see what you did? That girl is upset now.
She gave a spiteful smile. First of all, it wasn't me who upset her. Second, I don't have any idea what you two were arguing about. I was running out of patience.
Why should I tell you?
It seems like she thought that our talk was over and was about to leave. I grabbed her hand abruptly. Alisa glanced at me in fear but didn't say anything. I was angry at that moment, really angry. First, I was wildly enraged that Lena was upset because of me, even though I was actually kind of guilty. Second, I was enraged by Alisa's insolence. Third, I was so tired that I was about to lose my temper at the smallest thing. Happy now? I hissed, pointing into the darkness where Lena had run off. You only seem to have the guts to bomb memorials and hurt innocent girls. She looked frightened, saddened, and confused at the same time.
She herself could hurt anyone. You just don't know her.
The only truth here is that I don't know her too well, but I'm absolutely positive that she wouldn't hurt anyone. That's your job. We stood in silence for some time. I held Alisa's hand and didn't know what to do next. The solution dawned upon me all by myself. You have to go and apologize. Why the hell should I? Alisa tried to act as arrogant as always, but it wasn't gonna work this time. 'Cause I said so! I refused to hear any objections and dragged her to the side of the bonfire. Olga, I'm sorry, we have some urgent business to deal with, so we have to leave early. The guidance officer tried to object, but I didn't listen and headed after Lena, pulling Alisa along with me. After some time, I released her hand. Any objections? All the pride and arrogance had left Alisa's face long ago.
If you want me to come with you, I will. But I have nothing to apologize for. I told her the truth.
We'll see about that then. I cut her short. We had been walking in silence until we entered the camp. We came to the square and I asked Alisa, where do we go next?
How should I know?
And who said that they know Lena well? Was it me? Alisa hesitated.
Well, she could be at the island. She often goes there when she wants to be alone.
Excellent! We'll go to the island! To the island, ho! We headed to the pier. Night came down on the camp while I searched for paddles and potted around with the ropes. One boat was actually missing. Okay, today is your lucky day. You get to do several killer exercises that will build up your biceps, triceps, and other arm muscles. I said sarcastically.
Are you serious?
Alisa cast a fearful glance at me. Well, perhaps that was a little too rough, even for her. Alright, I won't make you row, of course. That hardly sounded confident. Swinging the paddles appeared to be much harder this time. Well, that's not surprising considering that today I must have already filled my annual rowing quota. I stopped in the middle of the river to catch my breath. Oh, we're in the middle of the river! The camp was covered by night. A trivial and ordinary night. It was one of those nights when the dark skies, stars, and crescent moon don't make you feel anything special, and chirping crickets and twittering birds sound like they are doing a dull routine job, rather than performing an otherwise exciting nocturne. I was staring into the darkness trying to make out the shadowy island. How did you get to know her? Alisa shivered a little.
We grew up together,
she answered slowly after some hesitation. And ended up at the same pioneer camp? What a fabulous coincidence. All these questions, mysteries, and fears that had been so well hidden so far suddenly spawned in my head. Damn, I could just throw her out of the boat and drown her right here and now. God, Jesus Christ, you're getting a bit psycho there, buddy! I can demand answers, although it could be dangerous unless I'm sure that I know what I'm doing. But still, I thought that this time I was playing with the white pieces so I could make the first move, not just parry the blows of the opponent. So what kind of camp is this? Alisa stared at me blankly. Where are we? Why am I here? She kept silent. Answer me! I shouted.
Hey, what's wrong with you? If you want me to apologize to Lena, I will.
That's when I realized how stupid I was acting, to say the least. She could simply be uninvolved in all that stuff. And what's more, one can't lie that convincingly. Alisa's fearful expression was yet another reason to believe her. Sorry. That was all I was able to say at the moment, yet I wanted to keep my advantage. The last few meters were really tough. Exhausted, I got out of the boat and lay on the cold ground. Alisa stood nearby staring at me. I thought she was about to goad me or utter some barbed witticism, but since she remained silent, I assumed that she was still shocked or something. Even though it was rather dark here, it would be easier to hide my old flat than on this tiny island. Furthermore, Lena must have already heard us as we were crossing the river, so by now it's already too late to ask Alisa any more questions, even though I still had some. Listen. I looked at her but saw nothing. It was a dark night, and I didn't have cat's eyes. Well, when we find Lena, you're going to tell her you never wanted to hurt her feelings, and everything that happened in the morning was nothing but a misunderstanding, okay? My voice didn't sound as confident as it did a couple minutes ago, but confident enough. Although Alisa said nothing, it was clear by the look on her face that she agreed. I stood up, and we went off to find Lena. Oh, we calmed down the big bad tiger. Her boat was tied up to a snag on the far side of the island. It's very clever of her. One wouldn't see the boat from afar, I mumbled. Well, that means she's somewhere in the trees. Let's find her. I headed into the grove, but Alisa stood still. What's up? I thought we'd discuss everything already.
It's not that. It's just that it's dark in there.
I had to strain my eyes to make out her face. The grove is smaller than my grandmother's daisy garden. What's there to be afraid of? Alisa didn't answer. If you want to know what I'm thinking, I'll gladly just leave you here. I never know what trick you're up to.
Well,
she came very close to me.
Let's go like this.
Oh! Woo! Oh! We're getting somewhere, boys! We're getting somewhere! She took my hand. Oh, look at that! Very nicely! I hadn't expected this outcome. My cheeks turned red and hot, my breath was taken away, and I could barely say anything. Huh! The whole situation didn't favor conversation, which was probably for the best, since I doubt I would be able to say anything smart. Slowly we headed into the grove. In a couple of moments I regained some self-control and made some beer with the grain that I regrained. Come on. There is really nothing to be afraid of. We came here during the day, gathering some strawberries. No big deal, just a big birch grove. It's really nice here during the day, I added after a short pause. Alisa didn't look at me. She was staring somewhere into the distance. Well, I missed that. I missed that. Okay, it was nothing. Well, it's up to you after all. A few minutes later, she pointed somewhere in front of us.
There she is.
I peered into the darkness but could barely see anything. Ah, we found her and she'd been crying, yo. When we came closer, we saw Lena sitting beside a tree. She was crying.
Why have you come here?
She asked tearfully.
And you?
She looked at Alisa but didn't finish the sentence. That moment, Alisa released my hand. Well, you see.
I just wanted to apologize for being somewhat harsh and rude.
Alisa interrupted me. Her voice had regained that usual arrogance of hers. Maybe it's because she didn't want to look weak in front of Lena.
What a perfect apology. No walking the walk, are you? How clever of you to insist that I'm doing a bad thing and then do the same thing yourself.
Lena switched to shouting uncontrollably.
You got it all wrong. I get what I've seen!
You see, girls, I'm very bad at acting arguments. You're arguing again, and I seem to be somehow involved in all that, but I don't understand a thing.
Explain it to him,
Lena said to Alisa with a grin.
There's nothing to explain. Well, maybe you'll let me have a try then.
Whatever. She crossed her arms over her chest and turned away.
Well then, Semyon. She blamed me for pursuing you.
For a minute there was complete silence. Lena didn't look like explaining anything further, and as for me, I stood still trying to assemble the scattered pieces of the puzzle into a whole. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. It's not like that. That's not what I meant.
Interrupted Alisa.
Of course. You've always been like this.
Lena burst into tears again. Wait, how come? So, Lena likes me? Oh! Woo! Woo! Yeah!
And you, what about you? You're trying to convince me that's all wrong while you're holding his hand?
What, so Alisa likes me too? Woo! Whoa! Yeah, we got bitches, son! We got bitches! Oh, come on, Alisa actually liking me? This can't be happening. Fuck my heart, man! Woo!
It's just it was dark in here, and that's so much like you. Always so arrogant, always trying to control others, but when it comes to yourself...
Alisa didn't answer. I really felt like I had to say something to defuse the situation. Hey, wait. Perhaps we just got it all wrong. Ah! Oh, shit! Just can't believe it, man! This is the first time two girls have liked me. Fuck.
This has nothing to do with you.
Alisa's voice was oddly distant. Judging by the conversation, this has everything to do with me.
Yes, it does. Ask her what she thinks of you and why she told me not to go after you.
I don't think Lena was actually going after me.
I'm telling you once again, You heard enough of your story already.
Oh, Lena ran away again. No, she's gonna get hurt, yo. She's gonna get hurt. I stood nailed to the spot, not sure what to do next. If I followed Lena now, what would I say when I found her? After all, I don't even understand what this is all about. My cluelessness and silly attempts to console her would only upset her more. Guess we better let her be alone for some time. That didn't sound very confident.
Whatever.
Without another word, Alisa headed back to the boat. Oh, come on, man! Come on, don't do me like this! Ah, I'm so into this! The whole way across the river to the pier was a hell of a trip. I had to stop every 10 or 20 meters to take a break. Alisa was staring at the river and didn't pay any attention to me. Well, this seems to be the first situation here in the camp that is completely beyond my comprehension. Really? And mysteriously showing up to the camp in the first place isn't? Jesus Christ. Even though ultimately it is just a trivial, everyday situation, I wasn't this confused even during the all-night expedition to the old camp. After all, if you have a closer look, there isn't anything strange here at all. Lena is a very shy and perhaps introverted person, yet she's human, and can't completely avoid normal human developments, considering that her reaction fits the situation quite well. Even if I don't get the source of the quarrel, it's clear as day that the girls would not behave like that if they didn't have good reason. And as things were standing, I was that reason. And that's the strangest part of the whole situation. Hey, babe, I'm sorry it went that way. If only I hadn't overheard your conversation. It seemed like I was feeling a pathological need to excuse myself.
It's not your fault at all,
she said absent-mindedly.
It's just that you appeared in the right place at the right time and restarted a mechanism that had stood still for a long time.
I don't quite get it.
Of course you don't. And actually, you shouldn't right now. You'll get it later.
She cast an intense glance at me. Damn it! Why does this always happen to me? Both at school and college, trouble seems to have chosen me as its primary target. Someone blocked the classroom's door with a mop. I got written reprimand in my mark book. There was a fight. All things considered, I must have started it. Failed an exam? Well, of course that's my fault, and the teacher who hates me has nothing to do with it. Even my parents always seem to prefer blaming me rather than unfavorable circumstances, a third party's involvement, or the decrees of providence. At some point, I even started to believe that I somehow do attract trouble. Remember Murphy's Law? In my case, it was like, if something nasty is gonna happen, it's gonna happen to me. For that reason, I always try to stay out of any trouble where I could become the whipping boy. Well, judging by today, I'm not really good at it.
It seems like you've got an aura of some sort. You do attract attention.
Surprised, I looked at Alisa. She was smiling. Looks like she can read my mind. Trouble, mostly.
Who knows?
Who knows? She said dreamingly and stared at the river.
It's a wonderful night, isn't it?
Just like any other one, if you ask me. I felt used up.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Just an ordinary night. Nothing special. The best moments to make our most admirable camp leader really happy. She has to know that her favorite pioneer is a nasty pervert who enjoys peeking at naked girls.
Oh! Come on, Alisa, man. You gotta stop this shit. Something snapped inside of me again. You weren't serious, aren't you?
Why?
Of course I'm serious. She didn't look like she was joking after all. Well, suit yourself, but do you really think this is the best time to do that?
Aren't you supposed to row?
I realized that our boat was still drifting in the river. Wait! Don't dodge my question.
Let's get back to the camp. I'll have a moment to think it over. Getting to spend an entire night in a boat wasn't something I would aspire to, so I had to apply myself to the paddles.
Oh, come on, man. We barely made it to the pier. I was exhausted, both because of the rowing and because of Alisa's intent to tell Olga about this morning's incident. If I knew our camp leader, her reaction would be quite predictable. So you're actually going to visit Olga now, are you?
Why not?
She gave me a most roguish smile. It's night after all. She must be sleeping already.
Who knows, she might well be awake.
Come on, you know full well it was a coincidence, a simple misunderstanding triggered by Olyana.
No, I don't.
She flung her arms up and headed to the camp. I gathered all my remaining strength, jumped up, and followed her. Oh, God! Jesus Christ, man! At first, I considered grabbing her arm, but then realized it might not be such a good idea after everything that happened today. Hold on. I trudged unenergetically along next to her. Let's talk this over.
Is there anything to discuss?
We silently walked alongside each other for some time. At least she walked slowly so that I had no trouble keeping pace with her, and I was thankful for that. Hey, is there anything I can do to convince you not to tell Olga?
Not sure, but well, there is one thing.
What is it? We came to the square. So what is it?
Well, stop chasing Lena, for instance.
I'm not! I'm not! Jesus Christ, I'm just being nice! Yo! For God's sake, what makes her think I'm chasing Lena? I started to lose my temper. Why are you making up such nonsense? You started the quarrel in the forest because of you. We had to go to the island, and here we go again. Enough is enough. I'm not chasing her. Oh, Alisa stood still, bright moonshine lighting up her face, which showed evident signs of resentment and displeasure.
Like, I don't see how you look at her.
How do I look at her?
Like that.
Like what?
You know.
She shifted her gaze but remained standing still. Hey, stop seeing everyone through your twisted imagination. If you can't stop making up nonsense stories, then at least keep them to yourself. Don't make others suffer because of you and your stories. I don't care if you pick on me, but now you got Lena involved. I really lost my temper for good, but Alisa didn't answer. We sank into an unexpected silence that was only broken by Alisa's sparse sobs. From bad to worse, now you are crying. Have you all gone mad here? I clasped my hands in despair. I couldn't understand why Lena was crying, but seeing Alisa crying is unthinkable to say the least. I can't even see her reasoning. At any other time, I would definitely be shocked, but at this moment, I'm just too tired for that. My mind was absolutely blank. To be precise, it was so heavy and full so that not even a single idea would have the chance to dwell there. If I would compare my brain at its prime to a broad highway full of speeding thoughts overtaking each other and causing a gigantic chaotic crashes, then now it's nothing but a forgotten tiny path in a distant, desolate forest, which is only used in times of absolute necessity. Alisa kept silent. At least she stopped crying. If you really think it's so serious, go ahead and tell everything to Olga. Hope it makes you feel better.
Okay, I won't do it,
she said quietly and turned to me. The tears were all gone, but her face seemed to express absolute sorrow to the world. That looks like anger.
I'm just feeling hurt.
What hurt you? I asked her tiredly.
It's always like that. She gets all the attention and always pushes me aside.
I had difficulty understanding what she was talking about and decided to play along. Hopefully she'd finally leave me alone. That's not true. You do draw attention and people don't overlook you. I don't. I raised my eyebrows and looked at her. Her facial expression was a mixture of amazement and expectation. See?
So could you?
All of a sudden her voice became so tender that I flinched in astonishment. Ah! Oh, she's looking at me sweetly! Alyssa's face turned red and she hid her eyes.
So, you really think that I'm as good as her?
I want to say something like even better, but I stopped myself. Yes, I do. It seems she didn't understand that I said it all absolutely insincerely. Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on, man! Oh, come on, man! Why you do this to me?
Alright, time to sleep!
Alisa suddenly yelled cheerfully. Now she was acting more like herself again.
See you tomorrow.
She waved her hand and ran away. I sighed in relief. Well, it was over for today. All my remaining energy was wasted on a sprint to Olga's cabin. There was no light, so trying not to wake the camp leader, I undressed quietly and lay down. It's still interesting. What did Alisa mean? And Lena? It's become totally unclear what is going on with them and with me, as if we got sucked into some kind of vortex which started to swirl with furious power. But what's going to happen next? And where will I be thrown then? Oh! Oh, shit! So much happened! I'm not going to end it here. Don't you worry, I'm not going to end it here. Day 6. Oh! Oh? What? What? Why'd she appear? I woke up early when Olga was still asleep. I stretched and sat up in the bed. I felt surprisingly okay, although I should have slept through the day after what happened the night before. Quietly, so as not to wake the camp leader, I took the bag with my washing up stuff and went outside. I forgot to look at the clock, but it seemed like 6 or 7 in the morning. The camp was asleep. The grass was shaking off the night dew. A light fog hung above the ground, and the sun was just beginning to break through the treetops. Not warm at all yet, like the fluorescent lamp in the house across from mine. I took a deep breath of all the nasty cold air and thought that even a night owl like me can enjoy waking up early this time. Sometimes. Oh god! All this talkie is making me start to hiccup. I need a drink, yo! God damn, that's good! The streets of the camp were empty, of course. The water here has always been cold, but today it seemed like they got it from the Antarctic depths. Ah, it was that cold, was it? Even my hands went numb from it. Finishing with my hygiene, I decided to walk around the camp a little bit. Olga is asleep. Breakfast's not for a while yet, so there's nothing to do. I came to the square and looked at Genda. That guy doesn't care if it's day or night. He's alert. I smiled at my successful joke and headed to the boat shed. As I walked, I hummed some song, absolutely sure I was the only one awake here. To my great surprise, I saw someone sitting at the pier, hanging her feet in the water. It's Alisa! Alisa. Came closer and stopped, not sure what to say. Then she suddenly turned around and stared at me.
Been standing here long?
No.
Why aren't you asleep?
Why aren't you? She turned back and stared at the river again. Looks like I'm not the only one in a good mood today. At least she wasn't being a sassy again.
Can't sleep.
I see.
About yesterday. You get everything, right?
You what exactly?
Oh, for God's sake!
My answer didn't seem to go down well. Alright, I did. I lied.
Alright, good.
She suddenly looked straight in the eye and smiled.
In that case, I have plans for you tonight.
Hey? May I ask what they are?
You don't need to know.
Well, since I'm a part of them...
You know when it's time.
Can you give me a hint at least?
Nope.
She got up and walked towards me. A bit scared, I cleared the way.
Don't do anything stupid!
Alisa said, moving away from the boat shed. Oh! Oh, okay, yep. Everlasting Summer Mega Episode. We're going to day 7, yo! I wonder what she meant. And what are those plans? I had no wish to become a part of some terrorist act against a monument or anything. Besides, I was still haunted by yesterday's talk with Lena on the island. She's probably still angry. and I never managed to explain everything to her. Although, I don't even know what I would say if I had the chance. I felt guilty about everything that had happened, but I couldn't figure out what exactly I was guilty of. The camp was starting to wake up. Breakfast was at least an hour away, but I had no desire to go back to the camp leader's cabin, so I decided to wait by the canteen. At least I'd be the first one there for once. I sat on the steps and watched the sun rising. Sometimes it's great to just watch a new day come. I was overwhelmed with complete peace and tranquility. That there were no thoughts to tear up my brain as they usually do. I simply bathed in warm rays of the heaven's star. In any other place and circumstances, I could probably even say I was happy.
Good morning. You're early today.
Ah, she's all happy! God damn! I looked up and saw Lena standing in front of me. She was smiling. You too. All of last night's events flashed before my eyes. Listen.
This is about yesterday. Please don't.
She interrupted me sharply.
I don't know what came over me. It was all... just forget it.
She stared at me. Lena seemed much more confident than usual. If only it was all that simple.
There's nothing complicated about this.
Oh, she came closer! Fuck me! She sat down next to me. So close I felt a bit awkward, but made no attempt to move away from her.
Sometimes I have disputes with Alisa.
Yeah, I realized. I see. But in this case, it happened because of me.
Who knows?
She answered, lost in thought. So that's why, I'm embarrassed. Perhaps I really am to blame. Or rather, I'm not trying to say that I'm not to blame, but I was trying to explain myself like a 5th grader to a teacher.
Okay, don't.
As I said, nothing serious happened. Oh, fuck, that was her. She had a man's voice. If you think so.
You should just think about how to act from now on.
Not again. I covered my face with my hands, clearly showing that I have absolutely no idea what's going on here and that everything, to put it mildly, is very unpleasant for me. Could you express yourself any clearer?
What for?
She said evasively. Look, if I don't know what I did wrong, I can't do better. I can't decide on how to act, as you say.
I think you'll understand.
I'd like to believe that as well, but... Oh, fuck, there's gonna be too many broken girls' hearts in this one. I can only pick one. And the rest are going to be very sad because I'm the only sexy boy in here. The canteen door suddenly flew open and Olga came out.
Still sitting around hungry this early?
She said playfully.
Good morning.
Lena said merrily. She got up and headed inside.
Shall we?
Yeah, sure. Oh, fuck, Alyssa's gonna see this and she's gonna go batshit insane, man! We were not done talking, but pioneers appeared out of nowhere and flooded the place. By the time I got my breakfast, Lena was already sitting, surrounded by Miku, Xenia, and Slavia. Sadly, there were no more free chairs at the table. Feeling down and deliberately not saying hi to anybody, I headed to my favorite place in the far corner of the canteen. Ah! Best place to go! In the far corner of everywhere where no one can see you. That is the best. I chewed my oatmeal. It was really chewy today. I mashed it down with some cold tea. I washed it down with some cold tea, then I began to watch the others. Oh god, gases! Burping. All the pioneers seemed to be here. Some were chatting, some, like Electronic and Shirk, were immersed in chewing, and some were gawping around like me. Oh, fuck me! Leave me alone, you little brat! I was just about to leave when Oyana jumped over to my table, with her tray heaped with food. Bon appetit! She blurted. Stealing again? I asked openly, staring at her tray. A growing body requires a lot of calories. Yeah, you really should grow up a bit, I whispered. What? I didn't think she heard me. Nothing. I headed out. Leaving so soon? She yelled at my back, disheartened. I gave no answer. Yeah, we don't have time for your shit, Oyana. We have no time for your bullshit, Oyana. We have no time for your bullshit. I should have taken the washing up stuff back in. I don't want to carry it around all day. Besides, what am I going to do today? Nothing at all came to mind. I was in such a mood that it seemed like someone was going to show up and invite me on a journey. I left the camp leader's cabin and paused for a moment. Then I heard a voice calling out to me. Hey, Slavia!
Semyon!
It was Slavia!
Busy?
No.
Can you help me?
Of course. I didn't look for answers on a wonderful day like this. A couple dozen hours wouldn't change my situation after all. What is it?
You should stop by the cybernetics club. I don't know why exactly. They'll tell you everything.
The unfortunate inventors again. Alright.
Thank you.
Oh, she's so pretty. Fuck me. She gave a nice smile and ran off. So a journey to the enemy's lair lies ahead of me. To the lair of the evil Dr. Electronic and the diabolic Professor Shurek. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I pushed the door firmly and entered. Oh, boys! Semyon Brawl! Electronic said a bit ominously, glancing up from some contraption he had been poking with a screwdriver. Slavia sent me. I know, brah. And? What, brah? And the second door opened and Shurek came in. Semyon, brah! He greeted me in the same tone Electronic had. Well, I was last time I checked. Oh, I joked. So what do you need from me? We have an important task for you, brah. I'm listening. The nurse came by yesterday, brah. He stopped as if he wasn't going to continue. So, I asked carefully. So we have an important mission for you, brah. I got that already. You are to deliver a package to her, brah. Can't you do that yourselves? The infirmary is right over there. I said skeptically. We can't, brah. Electronic said, surprised. What a weird couple indeed. I see. Not another heavy bag, I hope. No, brah. Nothing like that, brah. He smiled, brah. Alright, fine. Oh god. I keep on burping. I carefully agreed. Hold up, brah. Okay. Shurek disappeared through the door and soon came back holding something wrapped in paper. Just be careful, brah. Alright. I took the package. The pioneers weren't passing me the key to the pearly gates. It still looked like they were at least giving me the Olympic torch. Can I go? Of course, brah. Electronic said threateningly. Just be careful, brah. Shurek pleaded. Outside, I took a good look at the package. It never told me not to open it, although it wouldn't make sense to go further on. I quickly walked to the square and, making sure nobody was following, I slipped into the forest. I just stood there for a while, indecisive, looking at the package. I wonder, what's in it? Why is it so important for them? Why couldn't they take it themselves? I had a lot of questions. I opened the package and saw a bottle of vodka. Well, so what? Pioneers bringing a bottle of vodka to the nurse? Or rather, I'm doing it for them. Happens every day. I wrapped the bottle back up and scratched my head. This isn't weird anymore. This is just stupid. So stupid I couldn't think of one intelligent theory. I stood there for a while longer and thought I shouldn't let such a wonderful chance slip away. I quickly walked to the camp leader's cabin. Thank God Olga was not there. I snuck inside and began to rifle through the contents of the table drawer. Soon the vodka was in a soda bottle, while in its place was some water for the plants. Happy with my clever plan, I went out and skipped along the way to the infirmary. Seriously, what is so wrong about that? They almost got me into a trap. The camp leader had seen me. If anyone else had, I could have managed myself. So it was absolutely nothing. I gathered all my strength and knocked on the infirmary door. Oh!
Hello, Pioneer.
Hello, I have a package for you. A bottle of your armpit, a package for your cabinet.
What? What?
I was so euphoric I began to talk nonsense.
Ah,
She said.
hand it over.
I handed her the package. The nurse stuffed it into the desk drawer without looking.
You didn't open it, did you?
Of course not, I blurted out.
Good boy.
Alright, so I'll be...
Go, go, Pioneer.
Fuck me! Oh, shit! Damn! I closed the door behind me and let out a sigh. I could always pin this on the crazy inventors, and in my situation, I could really use even the most basic form of stress relief. I came to the square. The clock showed noon. That meant dinner was coming. I sat on the bench with the solid intention of not moving from here until the come and get it bell sound comes. Pioneers were running by. They were smiling and shouting merrily. Yes, the day was definitely a wonderful one. I glanced over the square and saw Lena approaching.
Relaxing?
Something like that. She sat by me and looked at the sky.
Nice day, huh?
It is. It was a bit awkward. Lena seemed different. She was not embarrassed, her face was not red, she was confident. So about that conversation.
I told you everything already.
Yeah, but
Just forget it.
if you say so, we sat for a little longer in silence. I just can't not like that,
So what do you think about Alisa?
she said, ignoring my inquiry. What do I think about Alisa? I repeated, lost in thought. I don't really know. Why?
You're just so worried about yesterday.
Well, of course. What does that have to do with it?
There's a direct connection there.
She laughed. Let's assume.
So what?
Well, she... And again I started thinking, really, what did I think of her? Well, she can be arrogant sometimes.
That's right.
What else can I say? Now that I think of it, I don't know Alisa at all. The way she acts does annoy me sometimes. If you were wondering if I had any negative feelings about her, then no. I mean, she gets carried away, but everyone has their quirks. Lena stared at me.
Really?
Did I say something wrong?
No, not really.
She laughed out loud one more time just before the lunch bell sound came.
Alright, see you.
Oh, back to lunch! I didn't stop her, although I had a lot of questions left. But how do I ask them? And should I? I got up and slowly shuffled to the canteen. There were only a few spots left, so I had to sit with Electronic and Shirk. Did you deliver it, brah? Wait, no, that was Shirk's voice. Yeah, I answered lazily, poking my fork at the buckwheat kasha. No incidents, brah. No incidents. What was in there anyway? You didn't open it, did you, brah? He stared. No. Great, brah. Okay, that was it. Finishing my meal, I went out. I was struck by a sudden yawn. Taking a nap wouldn't be a bad idea. I headed to the camp leader's cabin. It felt like the summer sun was going to melt the whole planet together with all its inhabitants. There was nowhere to hide. The sunlight seemed to reflect from every surface. Looking up, you risk going blind. Using my last bit of strength, I pulled the door handle, entered the room, and fell onto the bed. Of course, I wouldn't expect the cabin to be really cool, but it was much better than outside. Oh, we a snoozy boy! Blissfully, I stretched out on the bed, closed my eyes, reached down, and tugged on my penis. Strangely, sleep deserted me. I was overwhelmed with thoughts teeming in my head. Here's another theory, a solution to the problem of how I got here. Here's an explanation of what's going on here. And here's the true form of all those inhabiting this place. I remembered Lena saying, "What do you think about Alisa?" Seriously, what do I think of her? What can I think of a person I've only known for a few days? Can I just draw conclusions based on a couple of words and deeds? Although her deeds, I laughed a bit. Any relevant organization would draw the right conclusion based on the monument bombing. Still, though, I don't care. Maybe I really don't think anything of her.
Can one be interested in a person who's not interesting?
No, that's some sort of a absurdity. Knock on the door. Oh, who is it? Come on in. I was too lazy to get up, so I just sat up a little bit. Oh! Ho! Ho! A thing's gonna happen? The door opened and I saw Alisa. What a coincidence. She stopped, unsure, and stared at me for a couple seconds. I guess you were looking for the camp leader? Why would she, though?
No.
What's up, then?
I was looking for you.
She sounded calm and not aggressive at all. I caught myself thinking I was not afraid of her and had no concerns when she behaved like that normally. What for?
I want to make everything clear.
She sat on the bed across from me. What exactly?
I want to clean up my misunderstandings or miscommunications.
Alright, I'm up for that.
Have you spoken with Lena today?
Yes.
About what?
Nothing, really.
You're lying.
Alisa looked stiff and worried. She crossed her legs and bit her lip.
You do understand, I'm always assumed to be guilty whenever anything happens.
Well, you always are guilty, I said thoughtlessly. A spark flashed in her eyes, but she kept talking calmly.
Maybe, but in this case, me and Lena, we're always like that. Even if she starts something, she's all innocent and I take all the blame.
So you're saying that Lena actually... I don't really know what you're saying.
Never understand anything, do you?
She fumed. This is strange, I wouldn't call myself slow. So explain.
You do know Lena likes you.
She went red after those words.
Oh! 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 Things are happening, yo! Damn!
No, I answered truthfully.
Well, now you do.
Now I do. An uncomfortable silence overtook the room. I was processing what she said, and Alisa seemed unsure of how to continue the conversation. Lena likes me. Could I ever have guessed? Unlikely. My intuition is usually good, but when it's about me and my feelings, it does not work at all. The weirdest thing was, I accepted the news with almost no worries. Right at that moment, I was listening to Alisa. I was focusing only on her. I could think about the rest later.
And she thinks I'm gonna steal you away from her. She thinks that all the time, understand? Even though it's always the other way around. Everyone looks at her, because she's such an angel and nobody pays any attention to me. So then, I'm just a shoulder to cry on. Oh, she's crying, no!
Alisa started screaming. Look, please don't get upset. I don't think of you like that.
Of course.
I still had no idea what forced her to be so honest. And I didn't know how to react. Moreover, I was not worried at all. It was like I was watching another episode of some TV series. What was going on in the room was on the other side of the screen. I understand I was the reason for all of it, but today Lena said it was okay.
That's just like her. You probably realize that she's not as quiet as she wants to seem.
I started to guess. If I can do anything,
tell me.
Alisa raised her eyes. Only then did I see she's been crying. Some sort of worry stirred inside of me. I could not treat this conversation like I was an outsider anymore.
Do you like Lena, or do you like me?
I guess I should have expected a question like that, but I just wasn't ready. Just like that. Lena is nice, of course, but Alisa has her good points as well. Besides, the way she was at the moment, she could seriously compete with Lena. I don't really know you two at all. A question like that, it's difficult to answer directly. If I could say no, I would have at that very moment, but I only had one chance for the other answer as well. I don't know what to choose, of course.
You do want the situation to resolve itself.
Of course, but...
Why but again?
Why again?
Why?
Look, we're going nowhere with this.
Well, answer then.
Her face fell back into its usual bold arrogance. I need time to think.
Well, go ahead and think.
Alisa stood up abruptly and head out.
Don't forget we have plans for tonight.
She sat on the threshold, smiling. Ah! I don't know! I don't know what to do, man! I don't know what to do! The door closed behind her. Plans? What kind of plans? The talk with Alisa left a heavy impression on me, so Lena likes me. On its own, the news could shock and startle, and I, above that, was also forced to make a choice. A difficult one. To put it mildly, and any choice I would make be a mistake for someone. If only I could refuse them both. Although I didn't like the word refuse itself. If I could just answer her question with a no, it would be easier. But I knew it couldn't work like that. After all, I talked to Alisa, I realized nothing would ever be the same again. It can't be no matter what happens, and I'll have to make a decision. Since I rejected the no scenario, I need to pick a positive solution. If, of course, I could live with it. But I was sure that out of all the possible outcomes, there was one that won't just satisfy everyone, but would also be one that I'll want to strive for. And the choice seems obvious. Lena. She's pretty, she's cute, she's kind. And then again, there was something about Alisa that attracted me. Oh fuck! Jesus Christ! Don't do that shit, yo! Suddenly the door flew open, and Olga came in.
Lounging around again, huh?
Just resting. So hot out there.
Go and help Slavia, she was asking around.
Where? I asked lazily.
On the sports field.
Reluctantly, I got up and headed out. I should really air my brain out anyway. Oh! Fuck, I don't know what to do, man! This shit's getting difficult! I didn't realize a game with no strategy would be so difficult, man. This is so fucking difficult. Damn! There were a lot of people at the sports grounds. Some were playing football, others were playing badminton. Younger kids were just chasing each other.
Semyon!
Slavia walked up to me. You require my assistance? I asked all official-like.
Yeah. Listen, did you take the infirmary key?
No. Why me again anyway?
Well, you were there a lot recently.
I guess she's right. No.
Maybe you know who did.
No, why?
The nurse came up to me to ask for my key. You know that I have a key to every building in the camp. She said hers went missing.
She could have lost it. I shrugged.
No, she says she couldn't have.
I don't know, okay?
Okay.
She smiled and ran off. Just like that. Okay. I gotta say though, I am starting to warm up to Alisa, alright? We're starting to have more interaction with her than we are with Slavia, so I don't know, but then again, Lena is very nice as well. She's nice and quiet. Very much my type. I entered the camp leader's house determined to get some sleep after all. Olga wasn't there, thank God. So I fell onto the bed and lost consciousness. Oh, I don't exactly remember what I dreamt of, but it left a heavy impression, as afternoon naps often do. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit, we're getting somewhere, yo! Oh, God, burp. I put some effort into getting off the bed and I looked at the clock. It was just after 7. Not surprising if you think about it. Although, as it turns out, I missed dinner as well. That thought made me uncomfortable and I headed to the exit. I stopped on the threshold and thought of what to do next. I don't know how long I would have stood there. My head was still heavy after sleep. If someone hadn't called out to me. Oh, it's Slavia again! Slavia was quick! Ha! I can't speak! Quickly walking towards the cabin.
Semyon!
She started breathless.
Are you sure you don't have the infirmary key?
Of course not. Why would I need it?
Well, do you know who took it?
No, I don't. Why?
Well, something has gone missing.
What?
Something important.
Slavia hesitated.
Some medication.
So all this disturbance was started because of some medicine? Although, I pondered. I mean, I have the bottle in my cabin. Did she mean that? I tried to keep my face still as a stone without doing anything to give myself away. Okay. I don't know, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Slavia said in frustration. I looked at her and tried to figure out how bad the situation was for me, or whether I was in trouble after all. On the one hand, vodka, I did steal it. Then again, she's saying it's gone, as in disappeared, all by itself, no external influence. Although it's highly unlikely that she would say that a bottle of trophy vodka was stolen from the infirmary. So the way it was said was okay, the problem was different. I suddenly got really scared. If they find out that was me, even if it wasn't about the bottle, they'd still find it while looking for what was gone. Basically, I had to get a move on, and the main thing to do right now was to get rid of all the evidence. I jumped in the cabin, shoved the bottle under my belt, and raced to the forest. Burying it somewhere was the best decision at the moment. I took my time looking for a spot, never noticing night falling on the camp. A familiar voice surprised me.
hey!
I struggled to turn back, making my face look as casual as possible. Hey!
So what's going on here?
Oh, I'm just having a walk. My voice sounded calm, but I already understood. I couldn't fool Alisa.
Alone? At night? In the woods?
Yeah, well, what's wrong?
Nothing at all.
She stared at me. Okay, then I'll...
Hold on. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't think so.
We had an agreement.
About?
About tonight?
I think she's right. There was something like that. Yes, but you see...
No, I don't. Let's go!
She turned around and gestured me to follow. I thought there was no point in arguing. Any word or action could give me away. And then, sighing, I followed. It was a couple of minutes before we reached her cabin. While we were walking, I was busy trying to find the best time and place to ditch the vodka, but Alisa stayed close so that I couldn't manage anything.
Well?
She stared at me. Well, what? I was so nervous that my hair was wet with sweat. The only thing on my mind at the moment was how to adjust the bottle so she wouldn't notice.
What do you say?
About what? Alisa pondered.
Okay, I guess you're right. I brought you here, so I'm the one to decide.
Okay. I agreed, unsure.
Hold on a minute.
She reached under the bed and, in a few seconds, pulled out the bottle of vodka. I was shocked.
Surprised, huh?
Of course! Not by the vodka itself, though, but by the fact it was the exact bottle I carried to the infirmary in the morning. The murky contents gave it away.
So?
Alisa looked at me teasingly. What?
Want to take a shot?
I didn't even know what to say to that. What she had was just rotten water. The real vodka bottle was under my belt. Well, I kind of...
Don't tell me you don't drink.
Alisa pouted. I don't know, no, I just...
Alright then, just a second.
In just an instant, Alisa got 2 glasses and filled them to the brim.
Let's do this,
she said, giving me one of the glasses and down hers before I could answer.
Ugh!
She gasped. In a moment, she realized.
What on earth is that?
She started spitting.
They call this vodka?
Despite my difficulty, I couldn't help laughing.
What are you laughing at?
She shouted, red in the face.
I'm asking you, what's so funny?
It actually is funny.
So you're having fun? Drink yours, we'll see how you laugh then.
I had no desire to try the stale water, but just to avoid making her suspicious, I asked, so how does it taste?
Like rotten water.
Alisa said, upset.
I was just gonna relax a bit, have a cultured timeout, and then
A cultured timeout. I repeated as a new bout of laughter bent me in half.
Hey, stop it!
Alisa shouted and jumped at me. Ho! Ho 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 ho! She was trying to hit me, or bite me, or something. Maybe her plan was to crush me to death with her authority. I just grabbed her hands, and all she could do was gasp in powerless anger. All was going fine, but then Alisa's legs slid, and she began to fall. I let go of her hands, so she fell right on top of me, painfully headbutting me on the nose. I moaned in pain, threw her off, and turned to the side.
What do we have here?
Then I realized she had taken the bottle. All the pain disappeared. Give that back! I tried to get the bottle back, but Alisa nimbly jumped off the bed and ran to the far corner of the room.
Let's see, huh?
She immediately removed the cap and took a big gulp. In a moment, her face went red and her eyes seemed to pop out of their sockets.
What? What is this?
She rasped, while coming back to her senses. That's the actual vodka. I seemed to have come to terms with my defeat.
But where did you get it?
You really thought you had stolen the right one from the infirmary? She nodded. Well, it was the right bottle, sure, but the contents?
Man, you're clever.
She was already starting to slur her words. Alisa came to the window, poured the water out of my glass, and replaced it with vodka.
Come on.
I don't want it. Really, this is not the right time or place. Drink it, or else I'll tell everyone you stole the bottle. But it was you. Well, you have the vodka. You can't prove that.
You think I even have to?
Alisa said maliciously. Unsure what to do, I stared at the glass. What's important is to get rid of the vodka. This was just one of the ways to do it. I breathed out abruptly and swallowed the contents of the glass in one quick motion. Oh no! I missed! And a short moment after, I regretted that. Got any food to chase this?
Wait a second.
Alisa said excitedly, pulled out a huge stick of ham out of it.
What? Why does she have a huge stick of ham?
I tore it from my hands and bit off a big piece. Phew.
So how was it?
You were asking? It's not like I have full strength booze every day, you know. I didn't really understand how I agreed to this so easily.
Well, how was it?
Like that. Like a double bubble with vodka flavor.
Alright, time for another round then.
She opened the bottle again and poured us half a glass each. Don't you think that's enough?
No way.
Well, since we've already started, the alcohol was starting its work. Without a second thought, I gulped down the vodka. Alisa was definitely less experienced. She was having some trouble with her second glass.
Ugh. How does it?
She seemed really drunk already. If you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. I said merrily, poured myself some more. Somewhere deep inside I realized it was too much, but the gun was already loaded.
How about me?
Alisa was outraged. Haven't you had enough?
No way!
She grabbed the bottle from my hand and started to drink straight from it. Hey! We have glasses, you know.
Screw him.
She shouted and roared in laughter.
This is so cool!
She said, catching her breath. Sure, it's not bad. I looked at the bottle. We'd gone through 2/3. I was definitely drunk by that point, and Alisa seemed even worse. Then again, there was barely anything left. I sighed and poured a full glass for myself and a half for Alisa.
That's all?
With these words, she chucked the bottle from the window. What if they find it?
Oh, who cares?
We both laughed. Okay then, for all ladies present. I grunted and drank.
And for all the gentlemen,
she followed my lead.
I'm getting dizzy.
She undid a few buttons on her shirt. Oh god, oh shit! Shit's happening! I carefully looked at her. Had she always been this beautiful? Or is everyone beautiful to me at this point? Whichever it is, I could not force myself to look away.
You're gonna stare a hole through me if you keep going like that.
Alisa laughed. Sorry. Embarrassed, I stared at my feet.
You can look if you're so interested.
With some effort, I opened an eye and saw her continuing to unbutton her shirt. Oh shit! No words could escape my mouth. Things are happening! Besides, who needs words at a moment like this? What happened then was what was supposed to happen. At the time, I was unable to think of what was right to do. I didn't want to, I just felt good. The light bulb burned out, or one of us turned off the light, but either way, the room went dark. I looked around our cabin and thought of something. Where's Oyana?
What, you're afraid someone will come in and see us?
She grinned warmly. Could happen.
I asked her to spend the night at another gal's cabin.
Wait, so you planned all this?
Well, not something like this, of course.
She looked at me intently, smiled, and closed her eyes. Yeah. I stared at the ceiling for a while longer and soon heard quiet, deep breathing. Alisa was asleep. My head ached suddenly. The alcohol seemed to be wearing off. The best thing to do in this case is to follow her lead and get some sleep as well. Oh shit! Before I finished the thought, I was already fast asleep. So, did we have sex? Did we do the sex? I'm not too sure. Some people were chasing me. Maybe they weren't people but fuzzy black blots with a hellish landscape in the background. I ran stumbling over something, having nowhere to breathe. My whole essence was overtaken by primal fear and terror. Then a memory lapsed. I opened my swollen eyelids for my to-be eyes struck by bright daylight. A terrible taste in my mouth, pains all over my body, and a severe headache. It seems someone was drinking hard yesterday. After coming to my senses, I started to recall the events of last night. I believe there was a bottle of vodka, which I happily emptied together with Alisa. Tried to stand up, but something was pinning my left arm. It was the peacefully snoring Alisa. Everything that happened returned to my mind. Fear was quickly replaced by a feeling of euphoria. I relaxed lazily on the bed, enjoying a beautiful hungover morning. Sometime later, Alisa woke up. I kissed her softly and said, "Good morning." She gave me a blank look for a couple seconds and then jumped up shouting, You! Me what?
Yesterday, you...
She hissed, but it was kind of your idea.
I was drunk!
So was I. What can you do? Alisa was furiously looking at me, but then calmed down and sat beside me.
Alright, whatever happened, happened.
You sure? I got up and tried to hug her.
Don't,
she whispered, blushing. Why?
Because...
Alisa frantically shook her head.
Because it's 4 o'clock already.
And what? Don't tell me you're late for something.
Everyone will leave without us.
Leave where?
Today's the last day.
Last day of what? I was completely confused.
Last day of the term.
What? The hangover that seemed to have already passed a while ago made a sharp comeback.
Don't tell me you didn't know.
I asked Alisa in surprise. So, you did know it?
Well, yes. But I've forgotten it somehow.
And what should we do now? Actually, that wasn't the main thing that I was concerned about. If today's the last day, then everyone will go somewhere. So if today's the last day, then I probably shouldn't stop here. I don't know where I should be stopping, yo. So I can get out of this camp somehow.
Well, I have no idea.
Maybe we can still make it. I jumped out of the bed and started dressing quickly. It was difficult as my coordination was badly disturbed by yesterday's lavish indulgence. What are you waiting for? Alisa didn't reply but started dressing too. A couple of minutes later we were standing at the deserted square. Let's go to the camp leader's cabin. After opening Olga's cabin with my key, I found nobody inside. We checked the entire camp and found that we were alone here. Oh? After returning to the square, I sat down and covered my face with hands like a doomed man. I felt sick, but now it turned out that I had to solve a serious problem. Where would they have gone?
Well, to the district center, I guess.
Do you know where it is?
Approximately.
Is it possible to reach it on foot?
Don't know.
And how long would it take us on bus?
Couple of hours.
Quickly, I reckoned how much that is in kilometers. Taking into consideration the quality of the Soviet... Oh, shit! I keep on doing that shit. Soviet motor car industry and Soviet roads, one could presume that it is quite possible to reach it on foot. Okay. We got this. Provided that Alisa knows the exact direction. Moreover, in my situation, it's not easy to decide on such steps. But we can't stay here either. Alone without food in a deserted pioneer camp. In real life, it would be a definitely bad idea, and I had no other choice but to treat everything happening as reality. Let's go.
Where?
To the district center.
Are you mad?
You'd prefer to stay here?
Sure, they'll notice that we're missing
and we'll return. Don't you think it's odd that they didn't notice it during the departure?
Well, yeah, but...
She started to think.
But to go somewhere all on our own?
But you said you knew the direction.
I do.
She agreed without confidence. So what's there to think about? Maybe we'll encounter some local buses on the way. I don't really believe that myself, but if There is an exit from this camp. This idea seems quite solid.
I don't know, as you'd say.
She prattled on confusedly. Then start packing your stuff and meet me here in half an hour. I ran towards Olga's cabin. Yes, not much to pack. I tossed my warm clothes into a bag and I was about to go when an interesting thought crossed my mind. What would I actually need them for? It doesn't seem to be late summer, so what's the point in dragging unnecessary weight along? Especially since I don't know how far I have to walk. After reasoning that one could survive such weather without a coat and warm boots, I shoved my cell phone with its dying battery into my pocket and went to the square. I had to wait at least 20 minutes for Alisa. My hangover seemed to ease a little so I could better focus on the previous night. What does she really mean to me? Was it just drunken sex or something more? Oh! We did have sex! Yes! Woo! Naturally, I can't speak for Alisa. It's difficult even to speak for myself. I began to remember the course of my acquaintance with her. How she teased and mocked me at first. Her arrogance and self-confidence was more than compensated by the tenderness of last night. It was already clear that she is not the person she wants to seem like. But what kind of person is the real Alisa? And do I have any feelings towards her? I do feel sympathy, a sort of affection. But is there something more? My reflections were interrupted by Alisa. Here, take it. She held out a huge backpack to me. What's this? I asked skeptically. My stuff. Why so little? I brought as much as I could fit. Look, we don't know how far we have to go. Maybe you can take only the most necessary things? So what, I just have to throw it away? Leave it here? Alisa sniffed. Firstly, I couldn't understand why she even has that much stuff, and secondly, what's so valuable in there? But the chivalrous duty of carrying it is mine, isn't it? Of course, she smiled archly. I evaluated how much it would weigh. About 10 kilos, I guess. I can carry that for a few kilometers, but no much further than that. You do understand that we'll not get very far with it. Well, we'll do our best. You mean I can throw something out later? We'll see. She answered with her eyes flashing slyly. Okay, I'm taking your word at it. I'm taking... Yep, words. After all, as I have to carry it, I have the right to know to throw things out of it. And so our journey began. It took me at least an hour to start getting tired. I would never have thought that I possessed such stamina. Either the backpack was easy to carry or last night's exercises had trained my muscles. I stopped on the roadside and threw Alisa's belongings to the ground. What are you doing? She was clearly resentful. Do you want to carry it yourself? Of course not. In that case, I need a rest. Naturally, the most rational decision was to get rid of most of the stuff, keeping only the most necessary things. But I couldn't bring myself to such drastic measures. You've been keeping silent for the whole time. Alisa was staring vacantly down the road that receded into the distance. What is there to talk about? I don't know, but you're behaving as if nothing happened. Did something happen? She asked absent-mindedly. Well, you know. Had enough rest? Then let's go. Alisa began to quickly walk away from me. Hey, wait a minute. I showed her the backpack and ran after her. Oh? We've been traveling in silence for some time, with Alisa slightly ahead and me behind. I had no idea how to start a conversation. She seemed to be giving out obvious hints that the night's events were one big mistake. At least it seemed so to me. Though my point of view what happened was meant to happen. For the last few days in the camp, I'd definitely been attracted to Alisa. And I believe that she was attracted to me as well. In that case, what's the problem? Maybe she doesn't want it to be just a one-night stand. You know, she turned and looked at me. If I did something wrong... You did nothing wrong. But it just turned out this way. So it was just an accident? I didn't say that. Then what did you say? My inability to get a straight answer made me begin to lose my temper, and I raised my voice. You're just giving me hints, ambiguities. What about straightforwardness, sincerity? You weren't like this before. People tend to change. Things are cracking. She slowly paced forward. Change? You call this change? You're a completely different person now, just like Lena, really. Alyssa stopped but didn't turn. Don't compare. Got it? Don't compare me with her. She spoke quietly, but there was a rage in her voice. What? I was somewhat taken aback. You blame me for everything, but what about yourself? You're constantly looking at her. Even now you managed to see her and me. Wait, what? Why did you come yesterday then? You could have gone to her, you did know. Did know what? Did know that I was waiting for you. It seems that making this confession was a hard decision for Alisa, but at first, I assigned little significance to her words. Well, you yourself told me to come yesterday, so I... This isn't about that! Alisa burst into sobs and covered her face with her hands. I was completely taken aback. Again! I still didn't get what she's hinting at, so it was impossible to talk normally. Sorry. Forgive me. Stop apologizing, but if I said or did something wrong, so what's the point in apologizing if you already did? Better to behave yourself from the beginning, but I don't know how. Alisa looked up at me. There was so much sorrow in her gaze that I couldn't bear it and turned away. We stood like that for some time. Soon she seemed to pull herself back together. Okay, forget it. Let's move on. Naturally, I couldn't forget it even if I wanted to. But I pressed the button again. And we continue forward. Oh shit. The sun was slowly moving below the horizon. I was immersed in thoughts and even forgot about that heavy backpack on my back. I'd say something, do something. Alisa was expecting me to, at least a few words. But what should I begin with? I'd gotten used to everything in my life being quite simple. Any task seemed to be already finished after only a few steps. Instead of considering the long way to my goal, I immediately started to think about the results, enjoying an unachieved victory. Moreover, I doubt I'd have to face a situation like this in the real world. Obviously, for a long time, I dreamed about a person who could care about me. But right now, such a person is in front of me, and yet I feel nothing. And I can't tell Alisa either yes or no just because I don't know what will happen next. Fuck me, I can't read, I need glasses. Meanwhile, it got dark. I guess we should make camp for the night? There's not that much left to go. Are you sure? And even if that's so, it's better to travel during the daytime. You know best, she answered coldly. We stopped at the edge of a wood. Got anything useful in here? I pointed at the backpack. Have a look. Mainly footwear and clothes were there, but on the bottom I found a magazine and a box of matches. Quite enough to light a fire. Oh, we're getting warm, yo. Soon we were sitting on a fallen tree, warming our hands by the fire. Only now did I finally realize that I'd finally gotten out of that damned camp. I found no answers. On the contrary, everything had become even more tangled as is. I guess I am to spend the rest of my life in this reality. If I don't take into consideration all the sci-fi stuff, it's clear that I'm somewhere in the South, at the end of the 80s. How, and more importantly, why I was brought here is not so important now, as I have to somehow adapt. Now I ought to begin with the girl sitting by my side. So what will we do when we reach the district center? Call our parents, what else? Alyssa smiled slightly. She had someone to call. And then what? And then it's all over. Meaning, well, we'll leave for our homes. I wasn't really surprised by this answer. I just hadn't thought about what would happen after the term ended. And that's it? What else is there? I don't know, after all that happened, but nothing happened at all. She told me merrily. What do you mean, nothing happened? You'll have a chance to find Lena. I was surprised, but Alisa said it absurdly kindly. As if I need Lena. Don't you? To be honest, Lena was the last person I was thinking about now. No. Then maybe it's me? I looked at Alisa attentively. She grinned spitefully. And she was weeping just recently. What about you? I evaded the question. What do you think about me? I don't know. Maybe you can just say it straight out? A long silence fell. Alicia was waiting for a straight answer, but I can't sort it out for myself. This pioneer camp and now the girl who wants to hear something I can't say that easily. You see, and then I really understood. Understood that now it's no use trying to be cunning and holding things back. I almost managed to break out of the cage. The worst is over. Or on the contrary, the worst is yet to come, but it's time to speak plainly. You see, what you're expecting from me is almost impossible. Looks like everything's impossible for you, she sniffed. It's weird to say it, but it's true. I don't know what will happen to me, not even necessarily tomorrow, but in the next second. What might it be? Will you vanish into thin air? Quite possibly. She burst into peals of laughter. You know, I was ready for any excuse, but no one like that. These aren't excuses, just listen. Alisa gazed at me attentively, and it seemed I had no intention of interrupting. You see, I don't belong to this place. I'm not talking about the camp, but about the whole world. All of you here are completely strange, incomprehensible to people to me. As you are for us, actually. I'm not even sure if you are from my planet or my reality. Quit it now, Alisa said tiredly. Imagine that once you fell asleep and woke up in a completely different place. And not just place, but a different time as well. That's what has happened to me. I used to live in the early 21st century in a city far away from here. I was somewhat older than I look now. I had my own life regardless of whether it was good or bad, it was my own. And then one night I took a bus, fell asleep, and woke up here. As a 17-year-old pioneer. Alisa looked at me in surprise. And you expect me to believe you? I don't know, it's up to you. It really wasn't easy for me to tell you that. You're a master storyteller, really. Just a sec. I rummaged through my pockets and showed her my phone. To my great surprise, there was still some battery and the screen was glowing brightly. Have you ever seen something like this? Do you have something like that? I held it out to Alisa. She fidgeted with it, pressing buttons. Well, some kind of imported foreign toy. So what? It's not a toy, it's a telephone. And where are the wires? Where's the handset? She laughed. There's no need for them. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate to you how it works because there's still not invented in your time. Yeah, sure, she said skeptically and handed me my phone back. Anyway, it's your decision whether to believe me or not. I told you all this only to explain what position I'm in now. I still don't know what would happen to me in an hour. Such decisions. Fine, you don't have to say any more, and you don't have to make any decisions. She got up, pushed some firewood onto the fire. If I've offended you, nah, everything's fine, she said coldly. I understand. You're a visitor from the future, so normal girls like me don't interest you. You got me wrong. No, I didn't. It's a very credible, logical, and above all, truthful tale. Any girl would dig it. So, you still think that I'm making up excuses? Alisa stayed silent, or that I've gone completely mad. One could expect anything from you. Why do you have to be like this? I said sadly. And what about me? I've done nothing wrong. She grinned spitefully. Just imagine that it's all true and understand why I behave so. I already imagined and understood. Oh! Bus! I was about to say something else, but a horn sounded from the road. There was a bus on the roadside, a liaise on a regular route. It's odd that we hadn't noticed its approach, at least salvation. Shall we go? Alisa asked in a completely bland, emotionless voice. Yeah, sure. I grabbed the backpack. I can manage it myself. She took it from me. It's obvious that it was too heavy for her, but I didn't object. Soon we sat peacefully on the back seat of the bus. Fuck! Are we gonna fall asleep? Am I gonna wake up and Alisa's not gonna be there? Or am I gonna wake up and then she's gonna be like in the future and she's gonna freak the fuck out? Soon we sat peacefully on the back seat of the bus. Various feelings fought inside me. On one hand, I was glad beyond measure to get to the civilized world. On the other, I was guilt-stricken by the unfinished conversation with Alisa. Sorry that I acted so. You expected something different. I expected nothing of you, she replied coldly. I just wanted you to understand. And considering our relationship, I like you. Really. Glad to hear that. But her voice didn't sound so glad. I said it, honestly. See, I don't know what will happen next, but here and now, I guess last night you liked me even more. No, you misunderstand. Should we do it again while the driver can't see us? Calm down for a second, okay? I didn't even think about it. What's the matter? You want it and I don't care. It's the only thing I'm good for. Alisa, wait.
Okay, I want to sleep. She reclined on her seat and closed her eyes.
Wait a sec.
I'm sleeping. Let's talk later.
I didn't object. After all, it's good to seek counsel from your pillow. Besides, Alisa needs some time to calm down. Although, of course, I was desperate to explain everything to her in a way she'd understand, but I held back. Still, I was sick at heart. Oh no, what's gonna happen? We were alone on the bus. Outside, dark shadows were passing by. Sometimes it was possible to discern a tree, a river, or the pylons of a power transmission line. The landscape seemed not to differ from the one in the camp. Maybe the world is a circle and we are just moving around it. Anyway, the surroundings were the least of my concerns now. I just stared at the floor and thought about tomorrow. What will happen? This city, this planet, this time are all strange to me. In a further talk with Alisa, I was totally disappointed with me. Aww. The process of waiting happens to be more tiresome than its result. Finally, things bound to happen don't look so important or fearsome. All your strength is exhausted. There is just tiredness and emptiness in your soul. The bus was driving into the unknown. I couldn't resist and fell asleep. No! No, 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 no! Don't you do this! Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me! Don't do it to me, yo! Don't do it! Don't you dare do it! Seems I'm getting old. Day was over and the hangover should have been long gone, but I still felt sick and dizzy. Despite how hard I tried, I was unable to open my eyes. I just rolled over. I wonder what awaits me in the district center. How am I to live? Maybe it's not all that bad. Well, sure, I don't know where to begin, but on the other hand, this world doesn't seem hostile. I know a lot of things here. Everyone speaks Russian, so maybe nothing bad is gonna happen. Suddenly I felt very sick. Damn it! I thought it was all gone by yesterday evening. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. No, don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. I managed to reach the toilet, moving instinctively. After some time, when my dirty business was done, I returned to the room. Then I realized... No! 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 Stop this nonsense! No! I'm back in my old flat. However, it's not so old. It seems that nothing had changed during the week of my absence. Dust layers haven't even grown thicker. The keyboard position, monitor incline, and the stain from a cup of tea on the table stung my eyes. Theoretically, a man in my condition shouldn't notice such details, but the entire room drew my attention in the most minor of details, as if it was twinkling with different colors. The socks were thrown around in exactly the same manner as they had been before. The blanket sat rumpled on the unmade bed as it was before. The dirty window showed the same view of the street like a cracked kinescope. In vain I tried to become terrified, or at least scared. Maybe it's shock effect, post-traumatic stress disorder, or something like that. After all, several hours ago I wasn't even thinking about returning to the real world. The pioneer camp, the girls, Alisa, the mythical district center where I would have arrived if I hadn't woken up in my flat. All that had started to seem real to me. Maybe my fantastic vacation to Sovianok was just a dream. Don't fucking do this to me, man! Don't fuck with my head! My feet started to rack up in circles around the room. I held my hands behind my back and started to think everything over. Oh, fuck. I swear to God, I hope I'm fucking recording. I'm gonna double check that I'm fucking recording. Oh, thank God I'm recording. Oh, thank God. Oh, that was terrifying because, like, there's so much has happened. I held my hands behind my back and started to think everything over. Only one thing is clear. I've returned as suddenly as I arrived there, without any reason or logic. Maybe there was some sort of explanation, but it's beyond my or human comprehension. Oh God, whether it was a trick by interstellar forces or supreme mind, or government experiments, I believe the last one to be the least likely. They left no clues. If I was unable to find answers in the camp, it would be foolish to expect things to become clearer here. It's like searching for evidence in a house that's been burned to ashes. Even if a crime was committed, all the evidence was destroyed by fire. Maybe if I had the skills and equipment of a criminologist, I could find something out, but the memories of the weeks spent in the camp are all I've got. But it wasn't just a dream, I knew it for sure. My hangover was absurdly real, and my feelings and emotions were genuine, not just the stuff of dreams. Therefore, I've been there. I spent a week in the Soviet pioneer camp, and with the camp leader and the pioneers, with Alisa. Memories of her made me sigh. It would have been great to leave with her. Wait a minute. What's wrong with me? I should be glad to return home, to the real world. Or shouldn't I? For now, I just couldn't evaluate the situation reasonably. I couldn't understand whether I wanted to stay there or to enjoy my long-awaited return. I noticed a 5-ruble coin on the table. I took it and began to toss it up without any purpose, counting the number of heads and tails. A long time ago, maybe even in school, I heard that in an infinite number of coin tosses, the probabilities are not equal to 50% each. Maybe it's because a coin doesn't have a perfect shape and weight, or because of some other reason. However, after some time, I counted 70 heads and 71 tails. So the theory of relativity lies. But I'm not the man to judge it. I don't know much about it. I recalled my childhood when I heard the word trails for the first time. For some reason, it always made me think of squirrels. Maybe there is some logic in this. A squirrel does indeed have a tail. Now, this theory seems strange to me, but at the same time, I couldn't find any conclusive evidence to disprove it. So does it mean that squirrels come out more frequently than heads? But one must consider that a squirrel has a head as well, so I yanked on my hair and sighed exhausted. Now's not the time for thinking of such rubbish. That's what I'm thinking, yo! On the one hand, what is now the right time for? What can I do? What is under my control? If I hadn't bothered trying to find answers during the week there, what would be the point of thinking now? Maybe I should just try to go back to my ordinary life. The words ordinary life were painful to me. Why did I choose that specific word? I could have used past, said past form, or something else. I guess because it was what I was used to. That's the most obvious answer. As they said, what you get used to becomes second nature to you. Instantly, all of last week's events floated before my eyes. Did I really want to stay there so badly? Was just 1 week enough for me to get used to Olga picking on me all the time, Oljana's pranks and joking around, or Alisa's cheekiness and mockery? I had no answers to this, but it's obvious that I already missed it. Although, I'm sure I'll never return there. Obviously, I can't tell whether the force that brought me there might want me to entertain itself again, and again, and again. It is possible, but for now, I have what I have, an adventure that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Damn it. How many people get to experience something like that? Even books, even dreams about such things are unthinkable. The main thing is that it wasn't Dr. Moreau's evil island, but a normal Soviet pioneer camp with normal pioneers. And its commonness was overlaid by the astonishing origin of my arrival there. Anyway, it wasn't the worst experience of my life. Perhaps it was one of the best. Obviously, it's sad that everything just ended halfway through, but every story has an end. Don't fucking do this to me, man! It's good that it has ended that way. Who knows what else could have happened. Don't you do don't do this! Time passed. The events that took place in the camp now seem more like a fascinating novel I once read. No, I haven't forgotten them. I could recall them in the finest detail. I remember how as a child I used to lie under a blanket with a flashlight and read a fascinating book about spaceflight until dawn. Sometimes I was unable to get up to go to school. My parents always used to scold me for that. But with every night approaching, I would carefully turn every page, trying to absorb every minor detail of the story. I had similar feelings about the pioneer camp. Reality, if I can consider it such, now seemed more like a book. I didn't think it was bad at all. In the end, the main thing is to remember, and it is not important whether these memories take the form of a slideshow, photos, video, or audio. Now, each bus made me feel both fear and hope. At first, I circled around the 410 route without purpose. Several times I fell asleep on the same seat.
but nothing happened, not even a trace of something supernatural. As times went by, I stopped these idle trips. Something changed in my life, it just couldn't do otherwise. A couple of weeks after my return from the camp, I took out my guitar that was lying lonely and gathered the dust in a corner. Striking a couple chords, I remembered Alisa. For me, her image was inseparable from this instrument. At first, it didn't work out very well. Maybe I just had no talent for music. I started reading teacher self-books and watching video lessons. On the other hand, all the effort wasn't a burden anymore. I just played the chords and polished my skills. And as with any kind of activity, including music, practice makes perfect. That half a year later, I realized that I'd achieved some results. At least I could now smoothly play parts of my favorite songs. Satisfied with my progress, I put a couple of advertisements on music forums intending to form my own band. Still had no idea. Oh! Is something gonna happen? I still had no idea what kind of music I wanted to play. My taste varied from something really heavy to anime soundtracks. At first it seemed impossible for me. I would have to communicate with strangers, and what if we were just too different? And anyway, how to explain to others what music I want to make? But it all worked out much easier. The potential candidates turned out to be not so frightening, and our tastes were mostly the same. After all, we shared the same goals, so issues stemming from a lack of understanding could be resolved. And soon we had a band. Suddenly I discovered my talent as a composer. Having spent entire days and nights on the note editor and sequencers, I started composing okayish things. At least in the options of the other band members and pals I showed my songs to. Quite soon we gave our first concert. A D-list club, not significantly more spacious than my bedroom. 3.5 viewers who weren't exactly sober. I was hellishly anxious. The sound equipment was constantly malfunctioning, but all that didn't bother me because I was happy. Since this was just the first step to success. However, it was a long time before we were invited again. With great difficulty, we managed to record 3 tracks and publish them on the internet. The reviews were far from ecstatic, but it didn't bother me much. It was just a beginning. Maybe some consider our music just a leisure activity or a brief fixation, but for me, it was serious. After all, it was me who founded the band and all the music was mine as well. I felt a personal responsibility for all the fate of my creation. Every spare moment I spent on improving my performance technique, and after a year I could already confidently say that I wasn't the worst guitarist in the world. Then some sort of popularity came. We were giving concerts almost every week and we were finally getting paid. It wasn't important that it was just 500 rubles per man. The fact that our work was in demand and someone was ready to pay for it, even though we were usually a warm-up for other bands, was what mattered. Don't, come on man, don't fucking do this to me! I was sitting before my monitor, torturing a guitar. The date of an upcoming concert was thickly circled on the computer desktop calendar. The very thought of that gave me goosebumps. It will be the first time we'll be headliners, and we'll have an album presentation as well. I wonder how many discs would be sold. Of course the CD era is already over, but there are still some who appreciate it. And maybe some will buy it just to support the band. I looked at the date once more. Yes, it is exactly a year since I returned from Sovyanok. Oh, come on, something's gonna happen, man! Don't disappoint me! My smile reflected in the darkened monitor screen. I wonder whether Alisa would like my music if she existed in this world. Don't think so. She preferred Soviet rock classics. But who knows? Played a couple of complicated guitar parts and concluded with a feeling of satisfaction. The sound of my guitar surpasses by far that of the Soviet Ural guitars, and my skill has overcome that of the guitarists of the same era. I wondered whether I would have achieved all this without those fantastic events. Unlikely. Nothing strange about that. Lots of people rethink their life after stepping close to the edge. Sure, nothing dangerous happened back then, but a psychological shock is a good substitute for grave danger. I rehearsed my part once more, put the guitar into a case, packed all my stuff, and headed to the exit. Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on, man! Come on, man! It's gotta do it! It was cold outside, just like that day. Slowly I approached the bus stop for the 410. Such a coincidence, I am going to the club on this very same bus. With a sinking heart I counted the seconds. Soon the bus arrived. It idly opened its doors and swallowed up a few passengers. It was a winter night just like back then. Cars flashed by outside with their headlights igniting the city as it got ready to sleep. The closer we got to the downtown area, the more people there were in the streets. Some of them were chatting merrily, some were pursuing magnificent boutique windows, and some were hurrying somewhere, paying no attention to anything. This day I had no wish to return to that camp. Any other time? Maybe, but not today. I must play the concert, and the rest can go to hell. I had a clear aim and nothing else mattered. Come on, fall asleep, fall asleep, fall asleep! The club was considerably bigger than the one we played our first concert in, but at that moment it was empty. The sound check was going on. I couldn't hear the drums though, the monitor loudspeakers, which I desperately tried to tell the sound guy about. Sound tuned, gadgets installed, set lists all prepared, ready to rock. But it is a special day. We're not doing the warm-up. The other guys are doing the warm-up before our concert. Thus our entrance is... As I listened to the first band, I noted that they have a lot of improving to do. On the other hand, we were no better not so long ago. As the time got closer to the start of our performance, my tension grew enormous. Come on, I was literally shaking with anxiety. I decided not to listen to the other band and not to wait calmly in the dressing room. Judging by their expressions, my mates were in the same mood. We were silent. Actually, we had nothing to talk about. Our parts were learned and perfected long time ago. Only nervousness could hinder us. But we already have some experience, so everything will be fine. At least I comforted myself with this thought. And now finally, the time has come. I don't remember how we entered the stage and greeted the audience. My consciousness turned on when the first chords of our first song came from the speakers. While sitting in the makeup room, I desperately tried to warm up my ice-cold fingers, but now they ran from string to string without the slightest mistake, as if they were charmed. A thought flashed across my mind. Why didn't I still make a single mistake? When I played all these parts at home or during rehearsals, I never thought about it. Everything seemed a matter of course. But now, when I stood in front of an audience, it felt different. Somewhere, deep in my mind, there was a thought that soon my finger would slip, and... thank goodness the thinking didn't interfere with my playing. Our performance was nearing the end, and now it was the time for the difficult solo I'd been learning for so long. By that point, my nervousness had vanished, and I played through it perfectly, even better than during the rehearsals. Woo! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Finally, our performance was over and the concert hall burst with applause. I smiled awkwardly. At least I thought so, and I bowed several times with the rest of the band. They shouted encore to us. Even without them shouting, I would have been gladly to play something else, but we run out of songs as we were only just newly formed band. Come on, don't do this to me, man! Don't do this to me, man! Don't do this to me, man! Come on, man! Euphoria prevailed in the dressing room as we congratulated and hugged each other. The sound of opening champagne bottles echoed in the halls. All our discs had been sold, which made me even happier. Finally, I managed to become something, too. It's impossible to predict the future of our band or of the whole affair with music. But the one thing was clear. I've finally found something I'm interested in and can dedicate my entire life to. As well as that, I can see that it may be able to make people other than me happy, too. I was probably now the happiest man on earth. At least it was surely the best moment of my life. Come on, something's gotta happen. Something's gotta happen! The club is empty, instruments are packed, and I'm waiting for the others so we can go home. I glanced at the stage where I'd been standing just an hour ago. Once again, joy, pleasure, and excitement gripped me. This won't be the last time I appear on that stage for sure. Maybe even grander stages like concert halls and Olympic stadiums are in my future. Who knows? Anything is possible now. After saying goodbye to my mates, I ran to the bus stop and luckily caught the 410 bus. Yes, come on! Come on, baby! Nobody was inside. I took a seat behind the driver just like back then. Some familiar tune could be heard from the radio. Maybe one day my songs will also be played on the radio. In some way, these trips were similar to the events that took place a year ago. I mean, at the moment everything is as expected, achieved by means of hard work, and the planned result is fulfilled. But I'm returning as another man. A man who has changed in a way. Come on, fall asleep, fall asleep, fall asleep, wake up in the camp, come on, Come on, that can't be it. Come on, that can't be it. Come on, that can't be it. Every story has its beginning and its end. Every story has its own outline, synopsis, contents, key points, a prologue, and an epilogue. There is no book of which, if you read again, would not review details you didn't notice before. Every story has its beginning and its end. Almost every. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, don't do this to me. Come on, don't do this to me, yo. Don't tell me this is the credits, yo. Come on, man. No! I refuse! I refuse this, man! Come on! Really? Jesus Christ, why? 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 Come on! You gotta be kidding me! My heart is broken. God damn it! Jesus Christ, man! I got really fucking into this shit, man. This was as much shit as I gave it in the first few episodes. I fucking loved it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Like, holy shit. Like, all the guys who helped with developing the game, all the guys who support us all these years, who kept waiting and believing, thank you, goodbye, and goodbye for now. Come on, man, I'm disappointed! Oh, man. That was so good. Oh, I love that. Jesus Christ. Okay, but as much, whoa, does that, whoa, holy shit, look at that owl. Oh my god. What the fuck is wrong with this owl, man? That is not right. Unlocked so hardcore. Alisa bad? What do you mean Alisa bad? Is there Alisa good? What, where did I go wrong? 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 Tell me where I went wrong. Where did I go wrong? How did I get the bad? How did I get the bad ending? What? What? Oh fuck, okay, shit. Well, okay, well, oh fuck. Well, I have saved games. Fuck, I should have saved all the way. Oh, I've saved game all the way to day 4 at that time. God. Oh god, I really want to get the good ending. I really want to get the good ending, but I don't know how to get the good ending. Because you only have so many choices. God damn. Shit. Okay, so, tell me if I've got a chance to get the good ending, and if I do, I will come back to it. But for now, I'm going to leave this here. This is the end of Everlasting Summer for now. Because it takes a while, but, I mean, holy shit, I fucking enjoyed that. So I guess everyone, remember to like, subscribe, comment, click on that notification button. I'll see all of you beautiful people in the next video. Bye bye!